So the Caves and Cliffs update will be released in two different parts. So one is a summer release and the other one is a holiday release.
Hello, I'm X Toycat, and you heard correctly. It was announced today that the Caves and Cliffs update, also known as the 1.17 update, will be split into two, one of which releasing this summer and one of which releasing this winter. This is of course a tragic blow to anyone who wanted to play around with the Caves part of the Caves and Cliffs update. I guess also the Cliffs part of the Caves and Cliffs update, because both of those will be coming in the second update of this year, and I wanted to actually explain exactly what's happening in each update, you know, the positive benefits to splitting this, as well as the negative benefits, because there is going to be a feature that isn't coming in either half. That's right, this is some big news, and let's go through it today and break down exactly what happened, starting with why is the update being split in two, and Lady Agnes explains it this way.
There are three main reasons for us to split the update in two. The first one is quality, the second one is technical complexity, and the third one is super important, and it's team health.
And so they spent quite a few minutes explaining that, you know, this is an update they want to get really high quality on. They explained how it's a really hard update to make, and they also explained how they don't want to stress the team to make it. There's been a lot of reports about game industry crunch recently, and Microsoft don't want to contribute towards that, so they're saying, yeah, we're going to just split the update in two. We'll do the intensive stuff, the really hard quality, like stuff that needs to be done right, but is also going to be hard, that's also going to be stressful and needs to be collaborative across multiple staff. They're going to be doing all of that stuff in the winter side of this update, whereas this summer, you know, the time where initially we're going to be getting the entire Caves and Cliffs update, instead we'll be getting just a smaller portion of it. And so although those sound like some pretty great reasons, I think ultimately what it really is just the amount of update they promised is not the amount of update they can deliver in the time span of a year, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, that like twice a year Minecraft updates had to be cancelled so they could do once a year Minecraft updates, and now we're doing once a year Minecraft updates, and they're saying, well, you know, we're actually not able to fully do that. I think, you know, again, if you're thinking about it from the team's perspective, yeah, of course, give them like, you know, 5 years to make an update. Make sure they can make it perfect. But I think if you're going for like a reasonable balance between what the developers want to do, which is, of course, the more time developers have, the more they can perfect things, the more they can work on pet projects, which might ultimately make the game better, but ultimately will slow down the development. I think the actual balance between that would have been like, hey, we could just push the whole update back a couple of months. You know, summer of 2021 was a huge time span. They could have just done what we were expecting them to do and push it all the way back to August 31st, or even be the crazy people who say that, like, actually, it's summer until September the 20th, you know? You could have done something like that, and I think that would have probably been a happier solution, but this is the solution they've gone with. There is going to be two updates. One of those updates is going to be substantially bigger than the other, and it's going to be coming in the holiday season of 2021, which effectively means December, because again, that's how this sort of stuff works, and it's a big shame, but I guess it's happening. So now let's explain what's happening in both of these updates. What can you expect from 1.17 Part 1, which we'll just call 1.17 for now because there's a whole thing about the names, but I'll allow Henrik Nyberg to explain exactly what's coming in 1.17.
So how exactly are we going to split the features across the two updates? In the first update for the summer, we're going to focus on the blocks and the mobs, and not so much world generation. So blocks would include biome blocks such as drip leaf, pointed dripstone, glowberries, and some building blocks such as deep slate, etc. And mobs will include the axolotl and the goat and the glow squid. Most of the world generation is in part 2, but there'll be a little bit in part 1 as well, such as generation of copper, geodes, things like that.
So you heard that correctly. This is going to be the mobs and blocks update. You will be able to mine copper. You will be able to mine amethyst geodes. Those will be integrated into the current world generation. And you'll also be able to get yourself some goats, some glow squids, and some axolotls. But as far as the brand new generation, as far as the uses for all of those features, obviously they're going to be coming in the second half of that. And honestly, I just have to say it again. You know, maybe you're calling me a cynic. Maybe you can call me someone who doesn't care enough about the health and the well-being and the structural integrity and the quality of this update. But personally, that is a raw deal, right? That is free mobs and some brand new ores to find in our existing caves, as well as some brand new things you can find in those caves, which ultimately, even though that does mean we can probably experience some of the decorative parts of this update, I mean, you can make a copper house if you want to, which is a great idea. It means the reasons to be excited about the new generation coming in the second half of this update, you know, 1.18 1.18, we'll call it for now. All of the new things coming in that update aren't going to be as exciting, because what is the point of a Lush Cave if you already have all the Lush Cave features? It's just going to be a new way to rearrange existing blocks by that point. I feel like there is a, same with like goats. I mean, like, that's a cool part of the brand new mountain biome. You lose that little spectacle of it. I think there is going to be a serious downside to not doing the generation at the same time as doing these other blocks, and I don't see how that's not being seen here. I would almost prefer they just say, yeah, we're going to just do the entire update in December of this year, or whatever the holiday season of 2021 means. I guess Americans have holidays in November, right? Thanksgiving. Canadians too, a different Thanksgiving. You know what? Maybe that's the holiday season. I guess they call it the holiday season because you gotta be like neutral towards the holidays. These are things that you like to think about while you're making a news video. Anyway, so the things I'm saying here is that 1.18 is coming out later, and it's going to include most of the stuff. But in case you want to hear about it directly from a developer, because we do.
The second part is all about world generation. So that's where you'll find, for the holiday update, the new caves, the new mountains, and the new world height, as well as the actual placement of the biomes. And the reason why we're doing it that way is because the technical challenges I mentioned are mostly all about world generation. So that's where we want to give it more time to make sure we get it right.
So yeah, 1.17, the part 2, or 1.18, which, in case you're curious as to why there's even a debate there, you could argue, because this is all the Caves and Cliffs update, they've said it's called Part 1 and Part 2, you could argue that, like they've done for previous Java updates, they could say it's, 1.17.1 and then 1.17.5, whatever it needs to be. However, the Bedrock precedence for this, and given that they are using the same system across both Bedrock and Java, is that generally speaking, they will just split updates and they'll just make them brand new things. The 1.14 Village and Pillage update was actually launched as like 1.10, 1.11, and 1.12 or something. It might be in 1.13, 14. Basically, they split it across 3 updates, and they just called each of the updates their own thing. There was that holiday update, which featured the pandas. There was the stairs update, which was a really weird individual update, but they came out with it. And then there was the final update. And so they're doing the same thing this time. And I imagine we'll have 1.17 and 1.18, except interestingly enough, 1.17 and 1.18 doesn't describe all of the features, but we'll come back to that later. For now, let me just say that, yeah, 1.17 is coming out this summer. It's going to be interesting. There are going to be new building possibilities, but there's not going to be new exploring possibilities. There's going to be, to me, that is a big missed opportunity in an update, but maybe I'm the one doing it wrong. Anyway, so let's talk about the big thing they said there. Something really exciting is how they want to introduce all the world gen at the same time, so as not to mess with old worlds. And they did give a really positive message that I wanted to share about that real quick before we get into the last series of bad news, because this is bad news. Let's not level with it, but let's go into the final thing here, and that is good news before we finish our bad news sandwich, shall we?
It makes sense to put all the big world gen changes into one update to make it easier from a player perspective when you're going to upgrade your world.
For us, it's very, very important to be respectful to old worlds. And that's of course true for the Caves and Cliffs update as well. So you will be able to update your world both to the summer update and to the holiday update, and there should be no problems. And I mean, this is super important for me as well. I think my world is more than 10 years old, and I will get so upset if I couldn't play on it. So yeah, definitely, you will be able to play on your old worlds, and you will be able to continue to play on them for many, many more years. And I'm so happy that you actually will be able to get almost all the biome blocks in survival, even in the summer update. So myself, I'm already like, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna find a moss block, and then I'm gonna boom it, so I get all the vegetation blocks from the lush caves, and then I can build, a park in my realm or a fancy garden.
So that's the exact thing that I was saying before, where I'm glad they are caring so much about making old world work, and I also think it's cool that as she said right there, you'll be able to get all of the features in, like your 1.17 world. You won't have to wait for 1.18, so you can take a moss block from a cave, I don't know where it'll generate, and you can bone mill it, and you'll get all of the brand new features at some point. So yeah, that's exciting if you ask me. Potentially, I think it's going to be a really interesting way to get all of these brand new blocks in survival. Obviously, I'm a survival player, so that's going to be something to look forward to, I guess, potentially. There are also questions about, like, wait, aren't all of these features in snapshots and betas already? They're going to be putting these features back behind the holiday update toggle, so it's going to be coming out later on this year. By the way, the fact that there is a holiday update toggle already makes me think that this was a this has been perhaps planned for a while as a backup solution, and now they're finally going into it. And yeah, so now we've gone into the last good news, which is that they're going to be making it work in old worlds. Let's finish our bad news sandwich with what's happening with beyond 1.17.18, because maybe a feature's not making it in there.
So there is one feature that is postponed, even like after the holiday release, and that's archaeology. And the reason is that archaeology is a complete new system, which is very exciting, but that means that we really want to give it the time it deserves so we can make it fun, inspiring, delightful, and Minecrafty. So therefore, it's postponed.
So there was no real confirmation there, but what she basically said is 1.17 and 1.18 will not feature archaeology. All of the archaeology things we saw at Minecraft Live in 2020 will not be coming until 2022 at the earliest. To me, that says that 1.19 will effectively be the archaeology update, but it could be going back even further beyond that. Just remember, we've been expecting the combat update v2 for, I guess it'd be like 5 major updates now. So again, just bear in mind that archaeology is going to be going into that pile of things that they intend to add to the game and they want to make sure it's great, but they're not doing in even the next, what is it? It's April now. In the next 8 months, they don't have a plan to finish archaeology. It is going to be pushed back beyond that, which is, again, I understand development timescales. There's something I don't fully understand, but this is some crazy news. It's big, it's important. If you're excited for Minecraft stuff, then if you're excited for Minecraft blocks and mobs, if the best part of an update is the glow squid or the goats or the axolotls to you, boy, let me tell you about 1.17 releasing on schedule this summer. If your favorite thing about the cave update was the brand new caves, you crazy human being, then the cave update has been pushed back to holiday of 2021, which sucks a little bit, but I guess they did it in the best way they could to still deliver on their existing time frame. I've got loads of thoughts about moving deadlines around and avoiding crunch, and I've got lots of thoughts about stuff like that maybe we could talk about in future. If you want to do a Q&A Saturday this week, we totally can, because there's a lot I want to say. But for now, let's have a chill time. I've arrived. Thank you very much for asking in Mexico. I've got my microphone set up. I believe everything's going to be fine. I'm going to spend the next few days just taking a bit of time off, I guess. And so yeah, there won't be a stream tomorrow, but there'll be a video instead that I've prepared for you. And also, obviously, I will be doing some form of Q&A. Maybe leave your comments down below, and we'll do one this Saturday, or maybe we won't. But we'll see. If you have good enough questions. If your questions suck, we won't do a Q&A. That sounds good. Just denigrate your audience before you leave a video. I'm pretty sure that's what you're meant to do as a YouTuber. So thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe so your house doesn't burn down. Goodbye.